Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the comic collector geek, and this is going to be a live unboxing with my good friend Steven. And I think he's showing some books too, so it's like
Well, just
maybe
two. You're center
double the
stage.
pleasure. I
You're
might
center
be.
stage.
You never know. I don't know how many books are inside this. I actually don't know what. I know one of them, but I don't know the other one. I have no idea what's inside. But one of them I do know, and that's actually you that told me to get this book.
Oh,
So
it must be good.
you might know what it is just from that thing. Hey, K Munin, you always ask great questions, K Munin. So
Nice questions, K. Munin.
yes, yeah, so I'm going to show two on my side, these two, and it should be fun. I think they should be good. One I know is really cool, and one I have no idea. So it could be cool. Might be cool. Might be like some like adult magazine. And then I'm like, oh crap, another
Mm.
adult magazine. I'm gonna just lose people. The reason I'm doing this whole thing is today's video. Like my unboxing today, I felt sort of like, oh, it's so lame. Hi Matt. Um, so today's unboxing was more of the men's magazines. I had such high hopes. You wouldn't believe how high my hopes were for those vintage magazine collection. I thought it was going to be like, Peter driven stuff. I thought it was going to be all these like really cool like pinup stuff. Totally not.
Well,
It
based
was
on their ad, I would have felt the same way you did. They say
I,
from the 1920s. Well, if you go into the
I
30s and early 40s, that's all they had. It was beautiful stuff.
that's my point. That's my point. So I was thinking it's going to be more that early end. It was more 50s, 60s, and it was more like the nudist and like
Sunbathing.
sunbathing and like, oh, it's like this is not what I wanted. I was like hoping it was gonna be cool. And so today's video I show like I show another part of that collection. And I thought,
Mm.
well, this is I couldn't delete the video. I was actually debating about just saying sorry, there is no part two. We'll just go right to part three because part three is good. Part three, gets into comics again. It's like cool stuff. But part two was kind of today's video is kind of weak. So this is my balancing out of that weaker earlier video.
Cool.
So I'm sorry about that for all the people who watch my channel. I'm not as lame as I seem to be. Um,
I think that your reasoning on that would have been exactly the same as mine, because you see those, and plus, my
mhm.
comic shop shows so much of that stuff that Heritage just sort of lump them all together. The
Yeah.
chances were, I mean, you could have hit an incredible home run with that.
Yeah, and actually, believe it or not, I think the average value, like per book, is probably anywhere from $40 to $50. So I did actually hit a home run because I have like it was actually
Good
probably
value.
about 120 of these books, and I paid $400. So it works out to being about $6,000 worth of magazines,
Hmm.
but I paid $400 for it. So there is value there, and a lot of number ones. I was surprised by how many
I saw
number
how many
one
number
issues.
ones you had. There are a lot of them.
Yeah. So there were keys within if you're if you're into collecting
For
men's
what you look.
magazines. Yeah, it's sort of like, a Playboy number one is like a $20,000 book, for
Hmm.
example. It's sort of like that. But these are obviously not that. But there are there are people that do collect this stuff. I don't. It's
Hmm.
not something I collect, but it is there. So thank you, 22 Comics. Yes, I did win. Not for the videos that aired today. That video I would have totally lost if that was the basis for the vote. Um, but maybe I can make it up with showing some great stuff. I'm going to actually let Steven show one of his books first, and
Oh,
we'll
okay.
alternate. We'll alternate. You show one, I show one. Okay, we'll kind of
Okay.
go. Okay, so you're going to go first because guests always go first. It's like the way.
Okay.
Yeah, so you get to go first.
This I just got. Um,
Hmm.
uh, a lot of
And that's
people.
my Christmas gift. You said. You said
Hello,
sending me.
hello, hello. There must be a crow on the line. The LB Cole is so famous for pre-code horror and all of the trick lighting and black lighting with imagery and skulls and geometrics and knives and various things. and sort of conceptually stuff that is sort of quite esoteric and very, very cool with the
Hmm.
horror things that go on. But his actual artistic ability to construct and draw beautifully romance books, I think, is people are finally beginning to realize just how wonderful his pre-code romance stuff is. Uh,
Yes.
True to life romances is one of the lines that Star Comics has. That was his line. Inside is a reprint because they're all reprints that he had the rights to, but he made brand new covers for them.
And
And
sometimes they would put different interior, some like extra stories and
there'll
stuff.
be a little something inside, but
Yeah,
generally
sometimes.
it's the reprints that he
Yeah,
paid
it's mostly
for,
reprints.
had
Yeah.
the rights to, understandably. But
Hmm.
he spent quite a bit of time constructing this cover. And you look at the Cinderella Love 25, which is the Matt Baker Poolside Party, which
Hmm.
is the book that is made out of unobtainium and
Yeah.
impossible to find in any. I mean, it's expensive beyond in any measure. This
Hmm.
one is quite overlooked. I don't never even seen this cover before, and there's a reason why, because there are literally only 3 of them on the CGC census. 3.
Hmm.
On Go Collect, it shows there are none. And of course, I look at this, I say, well, I know there's 1. So I went on to the GPA and they said this, they are 3. This of the 3, this is the middle grade of the 3.
Hey, Captain.
And it's sort of a Marilyn Monroe looking gal with a sort of a Dean Martin looking piano player. And it's great because it has a spin. The story, like on Cinderella Love 25, everybody's laughing, what have you. This is more down and dirty because the blonde is saying, "You play wonderfully, Randy. It's simply thrilling." And then he says, "You said it, doll, and you're kind of thrilling yourself." And then the
Hmm.
boyfriend for the gal that
Hey,
she's
Biggie.
talking to says, "The big heel, if his head gets any bigger, it'll bust, I hope." And then the gal in red with the kind of the Tulsi Gabbard with the long gloves and cutting the butt, and
Hmm.
she's saying, "I was good enough for him when he was nobody. Now look at him, a famous musician surrounded by flashy women. No room for me anymore. Well, Mr. Big Shot, I'll get even. Just wait."
Oh, nice.
So it's
So,
great. It's all kinds of
what's,
prurient, and
yeah,
the blondie is just built. So
yeah,
this one is in my mind, this is like the Cinderella Love party cover, but this is the True to Life
the,
Romances party cover, and
mhm.
I think this is probably one of the, I mean, truly one of the very best ones.
It's
So
funny, like looking at that, I wouldn't have thought immediately that it was LB Cole. Like a bit of the tone of the skin tone thing, maybe, but it looks more like the composition of Matt Baker. It looks more like
it
Matt
does have
Baker.
that look, but if you'll check, if you can see if it's in focus, but he signed, LB Cole signs the cover on
Oh
that
yeah, yeah, I
yellow
know he's
edge of the
shine. Yep,
table.
yeah, yeah. He always signs his covers, yeah.
It
But
says, and down at the bottom, it says, in red letters, it says, "Jealousy sometimes leads us to foolish thoughts and deeds. It is well to heed this warning. Do not be ruled by angry passion."
nice.
So, Alan, watch out for angry passion.
Yeah, yeah. That's I always have to watch out for angry passion. So
There you
yeah,
go.
very cool cover. Very cool. Okay, so I'm gonna switch back to me. Okay, and you. Okay. I actually have a bunch. I like on the shelf right there. I put all my LB Cole like romance books because
Mm.
I was kind of specking on him for a while. Last maybe I don't know year or two. In terms
Well,
of the romance stuff.
you got to get the 11, and you got to get that one if you can,
Yeah,
or if you can.
I'll probably I'll see if I can find it. I gotta
You're very
wait.
resourceful. I have no doubt whatever that you will have them.
Yeah, so I'm in the process of sorting out my finances first before I go making any more purchases.
I never let that stop me. Down to
Yeah,
debtor's
yeah.
prison I go.
So I'm actually working on some pretty big deals for my business. So if they all go through, then I will be okay again and be able to pay for all this crazy stuff that I buy.
Break a leg, Alan. Break a leg.
Yeah, so I'll find out tomorrow, actually, strangely enough. So I'm going to show my first book. I'm not sure which one I should show. I'm not sure which one is which, to tell you the truth. What's that here? Okay, whatever this one is in my hand, this one. Okay, this is the one I'm going to show. I'm not sure what it is. We'll find out. It'll be fun. Um, that's the one I'm going to show. What's that here? Okay. Um, okay, so here's the book. I'm going to open it up. So it's always like, actually, it looks like a slab. So it's a slab of.
I so much prefer if they wrap with paper than those damn dinosaur DNA
Okay.
styrofoam peanuts. Ugh.
Okay, so I know what this is now. I forgot that this was coming from Canada, actually. So one of the things that I've been sort of capitalizing on lately, and this is not Golden Age. The next book is Golden Age, but this book is not Golden Age. One of the things I've been capitalizing on lately is the weakness of the market. The market, the comic book market is really bad right now, and this is kind of the time to buy cool books. One of the people that I collect is Dave Stevens, and I actually already own this book, but I wanted to have a slabbed copy of it. And I wanted to have a reasonably high grade. It didn't have to be a 9.8, but as close to a 9.8 as possible. And it's this book, Star
Mm.
Slayer #2. I'm not sure. Are you familiar with this book?
You bet, Rocketeer.
Yeah, first appearance of the Rocketeer.
Yeah.
So, and it's a 9.6. It's not, it's not a 9.8. I know it would be better if it was a 9.8, but I'm still happy with a 9.6. And I got this for a great price. It was like, I think $60 or something like that, in that range, Um, so just a really, like, to me, this is a undervalued book. Like, it is the first Rocketeer. It is Dave Stevens. I just thought it was a great book. So, like, this is the one I picked up just recently.
Very
I was
nice.
so I was sort of stalking a bunch, but they were always like the prices, up till like maybe a year ago, were like $200-300 for this grade. And I just like, that's too much. Like, I already have a copy. It's a high grade raw. I just wanted a slabbed version, and I didn't want to have to send mine off to CGC, get it graded, and then pay like $60 in the whole process, just to have my raw copy graded. It's sometimes just easier to buy a graded copy if you're in Canada. I know in the in the US it's worth doing that. I'm actually I'm going to Sarasota for Christmas. And I'm actually I decided that I'm gonna bring about 20 to 30 books, maybe more, maybe 40, 50 books actually, that I'm gonna just drop off at CGC. What do you think of that idea?
I think it's outstanding. And if you've got any cracked ones, cracked holders, while you're at it,
Mhm.
have them reholder those for you because save yourself the effort for ones that you remember that one that greeted hit you on the head when you first had your shelf there. You want to have that, and then you've had a few nice books that have come with
That got
cracks,
smashed. Yeah.
and I think that would be a perfect opportunity to nail those down. Were
Yeah,
it
that's a
me.
good idea. So I have about actually my Hulk 1 has a crack.
Oh, definitely. And then the new holders are so good. They are so clear. And I said to you before, they're like a Belgian waffle. They have that edge, raised edge, which also helps when you stack them up. But that raised edge above the actual cut.
It's just her
Yeah,
clothing
it
is
looks
that
like she's
stuff.
censored. That black the black
Yeah, it's just a
triangle
black
on her
top. It's just
chest.
a black top.
It looks
Yeah.
definitely like that's exactly what happened, man. I agree.
Uh, I've been looking for ASM 13s, but they're a bargain now for $600 for a 3.0. Wow, that's insane. Like, that used to be like like $1,000 book, or plus.
Well, Biggie,
Um,
you're in a good situation. I think that yeah, you're in a good situation chasing after your Hulk 181. we were talking about that yesterday, where you have those books that you wanted to put together and go for it. I still think, since that's the book you really want, I think your timing. I mean, even in in the near future, you couldn't do much better right now for the market to go
Yeah,
after that.
yeah, yeah.
You're in the
The
driver's seat on that one.
great thing is right now the market is such that it's not only corrected back to pre-COVID times, but it's actually slightly below
Yes,
on certain books, not all books, but
not
certain
all.
books. And I think that will there is like it's sort of like when things fall, they kind of bounce. Well, right now it's kind of fell and bounced. It hasn't bounced back yet, so I think it's going to bounce back and
It
it'll
landed
get.
with a resounding thud rather than a
But yeah,
bounce.
actually, it made an indent into the floor. The comic book pricing. Um, just so you know, I am going to be in Sarasota from the 23rd to the 30th. If anyone wants to meet up with me, like comic people, I'm open for it because I always like meeting uh, fellow comic book people. So yeah. Been buying a lot, but my poor pocket is on
My
fire. Yeah.
pocket's been on fire for
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's been getting better every month.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
I think it still has a bit more to drop just
I
because
agree.
the economy is like, eh. Hey TM,
Hi, TM.
congrats. I want to say congrats to TM. He won the award.
Well done.
Um,
Well
actually, I voted for
deserved.
him. I actually voted for him for that award. So I was like, oh,
I
I
did
win it
too. I did
vicariously
too.
through him. Okay. And who else? Everyone's just saying hi to each other. So I'm gonna ignore you guys now. So,
What a great
so
host.
yeah, what a great host. So yeah, yeah, I think right now is the time to buy. It's the only problem is nobody has any money. So it's like
Well, there's
you
there's still money. You watch these auctions, and there is money. The
oh
golden
yeah.
age, the golden age, has not taken a terrible beating like the other eras have. Sadly, although I will say this, and you and I had talked about this,
Mhm.
the stuff that is coming out, the actual material that is coming out, and that is the difference. It may not be coming out, dirt cheap, but
Mhm.
but favorably, and stuff you never see. I continually are getting covers that I've never seen before are
Yeah, I
coming out, and they're beautiful. Like this last post I had, what is it? Fantastic Stories magazine from Fox. It's a one
mhm.
shot from 1950. I had never seen that cover, and it's just incredible the amount of color on it.
Yeah,
You
actually,
had that book before I did too.
yeah,
Do you
actually, the
have that?
today,
Did you have that handy?
Fantastic Stories. Which one?
It's
The
the one that I just posted on Instagram.
see, I didn't
The
see
one
your
with
post.
the guy, two guys lashed the Jojo and Zegra lashed to the tree, and then the natives are setting fire to them.
Oh,
No, it's issue number 3, although it's the number 1.
I think it's behind me actually, but I'm not sure. I have two boxes with jungle stuff in it.
Okay,
I'd have to go through like 200 comics to find it. I have no idea where it is. It's
next
I
time.
think it's in that box right behind me, but
Okay,
because actually I was sorting out my jungle stuff. Um, but what was I going to say? Actually, if you look at my post for today on Instagram, um,
that's a
I actually
painted
think
cover.
yeah, it was a pulp that I posted today.
Beautiful book.
Yeah, it's
Beautiful
actually
cover.
I think it's a rip off of the Planet Comics cover. If you saw the two, they kind of look
I
very
did.
similar.
I did,
Um,
but it's pink. It's pink and beautiful. The
yeah,
render, I
I
think it's
actually think it's a
gorgeous.
better cover. I think it's a better cover than the
It's
Planet one.
beautiful.
But the interesting thing, I think that's where the future is. If you want to spec on something, those pulps are really undervalued, and the thing that makes pulps like a really good potential, in my opinion, is the fact that we can put them in slabs now.
Now it's happening.
Um, once they can go into slabs, what'll happen is people like one of the things that people hated about pulps is storage reasons and also just the fact that they're pulpy, like they fall apart. Like I think having it in the slab where you can just it's art at that point,
and protected.
and protected,
And the fact that
uh,
it's commodified, Alan, it's
and it's
commodified
commodified.
in a
That's the big
holder
thing.
that's protected, and it makes it universal. And when comic books were commodified, one of the things when you'd have a pedigree like Mile High,
Hmm.
it commodified the product, and it made those every say it's a mile high. Everybody knew what
Hmm.
that meant. But when the slabbing came in, every book's like a mile high because it's been quantified,
Hmm.
when it quantified and commodified, so that makes it so that it makes it very liquid and very easy to move because there's nothing subject. Well, of course, grading is a little bit
Yeah.
subjective,
Well,
but it
we
removes the
assume that
subjective
grading
nature of
means
a raw
something. Yeah.
book, and it also answers the question of restoration.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, the thing that I see is like the book that showed up today. If that was a comic, and once it's graded, it's like there's no difference between a pulp and a comic because it's just art at that point. Um, the if that was a comic, it would be a $300 to $400 book. Do you know what I mean? Just
Yes.
based on the cover, it's like
Hmm.
of that quality. I paid $15 for it, shipped.
This is going to change.
This is going to change. There are a lot of pulps out there, though. That's one thing. Like actually, pulps survived better than the comics did in terms of the population of the pulps out there. They the the quality of the pulps maybe felt they turn to
They're
dust,
pulp.
but they're pulp. But there's a lot more of them out there, and as long as the cover presents well, I think that's all that matters. But I do see that there is that opportunity where you can pick up pulps for that $20 range, $20-$30 range, and once they start getting graded, I think they'll be in that $100 to $200 range.
I only have the three pulps.
Well, you showed some great ones on that. Yeah, the pulp carvers are really, really delicate, and they
I
fray a lot because they weren't
I
cut
I
properly.
only have I only have the three.
Yeah, see, that's what I was saying.
The pulp
Pick,
collectors have been saying that for years, K-Mun, and they've been saying that for years that pulps are going to come on. The slabbing is now actually it is going to make a difference.
it's going to make a difference.
Here's the
That's the thing people were waiting for, right? I'm gonna wait. I gotta make you big. One second.
the
Yeah,
only
so you picked the good ones. You picked the Brundages.
the only ones that there are a lot of really good ones. The standard Nidor ones, which were then turned into comic covers as well. So in their Schomburgs, there are a lot of Schomburgs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the ones that really move me are Weird Tales by Margaret
Yeah,
Brundage.
Brundage. Yeah.
And this one is just lovely. And um, another one where the the bats and here's a witch who is looking has the same look as this redhead, and the bats coming out. I mean, her work was, and it was so sad what happened to her. She died a pauper basically. Um, and it was interesting that when she would have to send her, she was in Chicago, I think, and they were producing it there, and then they shifted to New York. And then when she would send these, and they were pastel and what have you, and they would potential for water damage and stuff like that. It was really a mess to have to try to ship them. But Fiorello LaGuardia was the mayor of New York, and he put in all kinds of morality stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
so they caught a lot of static for their cover content. And so she after she had her, and then the last one I have is the one that the very first one
The
I got,
famous one. Yeah.
which is the big one.
Yeah. So I mean,
The
those are all great ones. And I think the interesting thing I think like about those weird tales, a lot of like nude covers, like a lot of very risque covers for the time. If you think
artistic.
about it.
There,
Artistic.
it's not
It's
gross.
not
It's
smut.
it's very
It's more,
lovely
yeah,
art.
yeah.
She was a gifted artist,
Mm-hmm.
and
One
they're
second.
sexy.
One second here. I'm just gonna actually Candlestick actually asked a reasonable question. So I'm just gonna Yeah, so Green Llama, I'm not sure which pulp he appeared in. Do you know where the Green Llama made his first appearance,
I
Stephen?
do not.
I actually have it on my want list. I just forgot what it is though. Um, yeah, no way that $15 pulp magazines are going to last. They will go up. It's just a matter of time. Maybe not too long a wait either. I really do feel like what ends up happening with with everything in life is you get the kind of gold rush kind of element where you know it's just like comics were kind of almost dead for like the mid 20s, the mid 2000s, I mean. And then once the MCU kind of caught on fire, uh people kind of went back to comics, and then there was the comic boom around COVID, right? Because a whole bunch of people saw it as a gold rush. Because if you bought a comic, you could sell it the next day for twice as much, and there was that comic boom. We're seeing that now, where people have shifted out of the bronze, silver, and modern stuff, and they've shifted into the golden age. And right now, there's a comic boom and gold rush kind of experience to the golden age, where people are going into the romance, they're going into the pre-code horror, they're going into the key artists. That's where the boom is happening right now. I actually
Timely's,
see, yeah, the
Timely's,
timelies
MLJ,
is big.
Fawcett.
Yeah, those are really
Fawcett's
big.
still wide open because there's a lot of that, and people don't haven't really recognized it yet
Yeah, that's another one.
so much.
But I see the future is pulps as being the next gold rush, where and what happens, like the reason gold rushes work, and this is one thing that people don't understand, is gold rushes work because it's inexperienced people going in and buying things that they don't know. And so you get a lot of like these inexperienced buyers buying into the market. A lot of money gets put into it, and the ones that are savvy are the ones making the money. That they when they understand what makes a good pulp versus what makes a kind of mediocre pulp. You know, and I think so. Right now is when you got to build up your knowledge of pulps, in my opinion. Like where you have to know those key artists that did a lot of the pulp covers, like Brundage. Also, you have to know which titles to buy. A lot
You
of
know
them
what? You
are.
know what? You know what someone should do? I
Mhm.
don't know who it would be. It would have to be somebody who really knew his business and has collected pulps forever. Would be to do a Gerber photo journal on
Of the
pulp
pulps.
covers, and that
Yeah,
would
that would change it
really,
all
really
overnight.
open every. That would do for the pulps because when the Gerber came out, I remember it very vividly.
Hmm.
Up until that time, it was always the Overstreet Price Guide would have that color section in the middle. And
Hmm.
that was the only I look forward to it every year because you got to see golden age comics you never got to
You never
see.
seen before. Yeah.
And it was just like, "Oh, wow, I that's what that book looks like, it's beautiful."
Well, if you
Um,
look at old like Overstreet guides, it's like $5 for issues 1 through 5. Like they
I'll
would.
ask him.
Yeah.
Alan, would you send a link to Bleecker so that he would
Oh.
like to see if he could jump on?
Ah,
Because
no, I
I
can't.
don't know how to do it.
I can't do it. Sadly enough, I can't do it from
Sorry,
because I'm on
Bleak.
my phone. The only way I could do it is I could run downstairs and send one.
Well, I could show some books if you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I have a
Okay.
few I could show.
So, Steven, you're going to show some books. I'll invite some people. I'll invite the team. Okay, wait a sec. I just want to catch up on the quickly on the chat. What's up, geek? Hey, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I always think Buck Rogers pulps. Yep,
Yes.
those are good ones.
Yeah, he's going to send it.
Uh, yeah, yeah, I think so too. It was beautiful. Theories Silver Age will catch up with gold
I
in the
hope you're
future.
right.
I think
I
so.
hope you're right. I hope I
It
live
will.
long enough for that to happen.
It will come back. It will come back. It's just one of those things,
I'll
you
be
know.
104, but it'll be there.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. It'll
DC
come
will
back.
overtake Marvel too.
Yeah, that's the other. That's the other thing we. I think I've heard people say that for the last 30 years.
I
Um.
have too. I was
Okay.
saying it.
And oh yes, the Shadow also made a first appearance in Pulps. I'm not sure. I think it was actually in the Shadow
It
Pulp
was.
actually. Okay, so I'm gonna run away, and
Okay.
you're going to show some
I'll go
books.
get some books to show.
So you're gonna entertain the audience for a bit. There's there are probably a lot less experts on pulp magazines than comics, so knowledgeable. So one good thing about my experience is actually I worked in a bookstore, and I worked there for about 2 years. And the guy, he specialized in pulps and he
Yes.
specialized in rare books. And so
Alan's
I
going to
learned a
run
lot
downstairs and do it.
during that time period about
He's going
pulps.
to leave in just about 5 minutes.
Yeah, so I just it was one of those things where I saw the potential back then, and I was picking up pulps for about $2 each. But it never happened. It was still like, oh, it's like still another 20, 30 years away. Um, yeah, so once Steven's ready, I'll switch out and then I will let him show some stuff. I have still one more thing to unbox and we'll show that. And we'll bring in Bleecker as well.
I am Red Eye.
Okay, and Steven is ready, so
Yeah.
you're gonna be the singing dancing monkey now.
All right.
Okay, thanks, Steven. Okay, I'll
See
be
you
right
guys
back.
soon. I'm going to start with Crime Does Not Pay. And this particular book is a very indicative of the type of stuff that Charles Byro would do. Here is a naughty gal or a notorious gal who's shooting up a diner. There's there's a dead guy coming out the edge, and there's another dead guy at the entrance. She shot the guy in the foreground in the eye, and the two cops are going to shoot her. And as she runs away in her red dress with her red high heels, so she's not going to be running very fast, but she has a gun in each hand. So it's a great composition. Byro did an awful lot of stuff, and he was one of the main editors of Lev Gleason for this stuff. Okay, there's that one. This also is a Byro cover, and again, this is probably one of the most notorious ones, where a little girl is going to be abducted, and this miscreant is is basically enticing her with an ice cream cone, and down in the car, the Charles Byro mobile. You got three guys that are going to cause problems. Guy's got a rope, and the other guy's cutting a butt in the front seat. And then you'll notice that the driver who is looking out is a lookout, has his hand on the gear lever because cars, for you young people, they had his 3 on the tree, and the transmission is 3-speed with reverse on the steering column. So it wasn't on the floor; it was on the steering column. So this one here is from July of 1946. Crime Does Not Pay, number 46. And this probably is one of the most heinous of it. This cute little girl with ribbons in her hair and the whole thing, right from the school. Fox Features Syndicate did a lot of stuff with good girls stuff and crime, and they were one of the prime targets during the Seduction of the Innocent book that Dr. Frederick Wortham hated. And this is a good example of the kind of stuff they didn't like, he didn't like. Here's the cat fight cover of Crimes by Women. And they're fighting over this guy and tearing their clothes off and pulling each other's hair, and the gal's got a shoe in her hand. And the guy's going, "Tut tut, girls, just don't get so upset. Tut tut." Not a
Okay,
wild one?
I'm back.
Wow, you're quick.
So I sent the link onto the Comic Collector Club group and to Biggie personally. So not Biggie,
Okay,
but
good.
Bleecker personally.
To Bleakers? Okay, good.
Yeah. So
Good.
Biggie, I invited both you and Bleecker here if you want to come too. So yeah. So I missed all of that. Hopefully.
I showed a couple of Charles Byro covers.
Okay, I actually really like Charles Biro. So Biro, Biro.
Biro, it is Biro. Lucky
Okay, so
pesky Bivar.
yeah, so yeah, so what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to unbox the second
Okay,
book, and then do you have one more show that you had as well?
I did, but why don't I just showed some? Why don't you? Do
That's
you
what I'm
want me to go?
saying.
Want me
That's
to
why
show
I
the
was going to
last one?
bounce it. Yep,
I'll
I'm
show
going
the
to show.
last one.
Okay, so okay, wait, okay, I thought okay,
I'll show the last one.
okay,
This was the other one. I just showed you the party cover that I just got. This one, this book was raw and was found in an attic. And the guy bought the box of comics, and they had just sat there for decades, just waiting. This is True to Life Romances number 11, and it's from April of 1952. And again, this is a LB Cole cover, and the colors and the content of this book. This particular True to Life Romances has really taken off. This one has been discovered. The other ones, not as much. It's certainly not as much as the pre-code horror stuff that he did. The pre-code horror stuff still is the king,
yeah,
and
it's like
still has room to grow. But this is the other one that I got. I sent it in and had it cleaned and pressed, and then of course slabbed and what have you. And just the fact that it was sitting in an attic in a box out of the sunlight, the colors on this are truly spectacular.
it's very nice. It's a
So that's
really
it.
good copy. Okay, let me do the layout. Boom.
Why don't you make
And
you big?
oh yeah, I'll make myself big. But just quickly about LB Cole. There's a lot more that people don't realize about him in terms of potential. So I think so far people have gone, people have collected his PCH stuff.
With
That's
a
really big.
vengeance.
And then they went like it's almost like a factor of 10 in terms of price between the pre-code
It's a
horror
magic name.
and the romance. But the next level that's really really cheap is the crime stuff. You can pick that up pretty inexpensively.
Reasonably.
And then one level below that is his stuff that he did with the children's illustrated stuff. That's
That's a
pretty.
yawner.
What?
It's cute, but it's a yawner.
It's not as good. I agree. There are a few good covers, but most of it is kind of boring.
Sex and
Yeah,
violence isn't so much like with the ugly duckling. Not so much.
yeah. So yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying if people ever gravitate to collecting the artists themselves and not necessarily looking at the quality of the cover, I mean, it's just like Matt Baker. Like I've seen so many really kind of pedestrian Matt Baker
There
covers,
are.
and they command big money, even though really it's not his best work. Every artist has their good points and bad points. So
You bet.
um, and Matt Baker had some pretty amazing covers, but he also had some pretty mediocre covers. Hey, who dat? So yeah, so I actually, I'd like to collect some of the, maybe not such great stuff because I just see it as a good potential in terms of that effect where people just say, oh, it's Matt Baker or Matt, or
Well,
it's
you're a
LB Cole.
completist. You're a
And I'm a
completist, and you like
completist
to
too.
have
Yeah.
them all. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a very understandable.
Believe it or not, this whole time that you were showing your thing and we're talking now, I've been sort of unboxing this thing. It's just like it is like a puzzle. It's like multiple layers in order to get down to this book. So I was thinking we could just keep on talking as I keep on
I
pulling off
still,
layers and layers of tape.
I've had books that it was. I actually just unboxed a Katie Keene that I bought,
Hmm.
uh, and I swear that they wrapped that thing and put so much tape on it that the amount of time it took for me to extricate this without damaging the book.
I know. Sometimes
It
you
took
actually,
25 minutes. It took 25 minutes of careful incision with a cutter to go around to get all this tape off the edges to try and
mhm.
get the book out. It was I mean, what are they expecting to have happen? I
Yeah.
guess
One of the things
you
that
only have to do it once, I guess. So I guess that's the idea.
I had one that it was one of the worst wrappings I had ever seen. They didn't put any board. There was no board. And what they did was they wrapped it in saran wrap. Okay, so they went like this with saran wrap, right? Like really thick. It was like really thick saran wrap, just wrapped. And then just to make sure it was secure somehow, I don't know what this would do, but then they wrapped it with tape. So how do you
God,
get it out?
you can't.
You know, it's like you got to cut it, and if you cut it, you're going to go right through and cut the book.
What was the book?
Oh, I forgot. It was like something. It was like I forgot what it was, but it was just like, you know, I think it was like I want to say it was some French one because whenever I get stuff from France, like I actually buy stuff from France, every time it's like I got shipped in diaper things, I got shipped in weird stuff, always
Ew.
something weird from France. It's like, what are you doing, people in France? I don't know. French are weird.
They do what they do. What, you don't like
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
Go away, Yankee.
yeah. So I don't know. French are weird. I say that because I live
They are
around a whole bunch
very,
of French people.
they got a great place, but the France is a great place. It's beautiful architecture, but it's filled with French people. But it should be.
Yeah, yeah. If it wasn't for the French, no, I always make fun of the French.
Making friends wherever we go internationally, Alan.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, I'm still going. This is like 20 layers here. I'm like, you should see, like it's like tape after tape that I'm pulling off here. So we just got to keep the conversation going for another hour or two, and then
And it'll be
I'll be
done.
done. Yeah, jeez. And there's a layer underneath. Oh my goodness, this is like
Well, it better be good.
it better be good. Well, this is the one you recommended. It was
Oh,
you that
okay, well,
showed
then it
me this
must be
book.
good.
It must be good. So actually, so this book was one that Stephen found for me on eBay. And he's like, this book is got your name on it. And my typical fashion, I lowballed the guy. I sort of wore him down until he got to my price. I think I
Good.
paid $60 for this.
Too much.
It was like I think it was 100 originally, and then he had like a best offer thing where it was like $80. But then I, you know, did my magic, worked him down, you know, threatened his kids, you know, that kind of stuff. Um,
Always works.
always works. Um, still more layers. It's like I can't believe this. Okay, one sec here. Okay, I'm still like, you know, this will be fun. This will be, you know, once I get through, like this is like the fifth layer, by the way, just so you know. Like this book has been really well, well packed. I don't know why they packed it so much. They didn't need to. Like,
Oh, well,
oh,
we're
I love that one, by the way. I've been trying to get that book for the longest time. Crimes by Women. I'm trying to get the whole series. I just love all the covers in it.
there. It's just a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Okay, I think I'm at the last layer. Yes, I can see the book now. Oh, I have that one. I have that book. Okay, wait, I'll make you big and then you can show that one. Show it close. I have that one. We can be. I
Lovely,
think that's
lovely art.
I think that's in the next unboxing for me. I think that's in the one of the ones that I
And
showed in this.
uh, this is a Lou Morales cover. And the story inside is also his art as well. It's great interior. Comic Book Plus has the entire interior for this book. They have a lot of the public domain stuff,
Hmm.
and you can read the stories. But it just it's a book you just never ever see. I never had seen it before. That seems to be one of the recurring themes that I have is that I've never seen this stuff before, and it just continues to show up. Here's another one from the same
Oh,
title.
I was gonna go big.
Are you ready to
Okay.
go?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
ready to go.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you my book. It was under 20 layers of whatever. It's this one.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, see, now you remember. So
The
one of the
Annie
things that
Oakley. I was looking
Annie
for
Oakley.
you because you were collecting Annie Oakley, and I said, "What in the heck is that?"
Yeah, this one's an interesting one. This is not.
Canadian.
It's a Canadian. It's called Corral Comics number 15. I couldn't really find the other issues. Like, is there a 14 even? I don't know. But this is Corral Comics, and it's Annie Oakley. So actually, I've been collecting the complete series of Annie Oakley. I have only one issue that I'm missing, issue number 2. Um, but the guy wants too much for it on eBay, so I'm like, I'll wait on that. But I'm going to show you this one. I'm actually going to open it up, which is unusual for me. It's a low grade, actually. Um, but
You never. That's an impossible book. Look at the back cover.
so this is the interesting thing about it.
Torchy,
You got
Hickory.
Torchy, Hickory, and I think this is Mighty Mouse. Not Mighty
No,
Mouse. What's it called? Mouse. Like Atomic Mouse, isn't it?
it might be.
Atomic Mouse or somebody like that.
Who's on horseback on top?
Um, I have no idea. But this looks like the guy from the sidekick for Plastic Man, Woozle
Yes,
or
it does.
Wuzzle, whatever,
Yeah,
Woozle Wuzzle or whatever his name is,
yeah.
something like that. You know,
That the Hickory with the gal bent over. Hickory,
that's the
who is
same.
this
I have the cover of that.
redheaded clod. It says best darn calves in the hills or something like that. And there's
Yeah,
these
yeah,
the calves are underneath, and she's smiling because she's showing her calves.
yeah, yeah. So that's
That is a real uh, mixing of different companies, because I think that Torchy's quality, isn't it?
yep, yeah, that's right. And then you got Fawcett as well, and it's like it doesn't even make sense.
Well,
So
in Canada, I guess they could commingle all that stuff, but that back
well, they
cover
would
would
get
be
the licensing rights, right? So they've just so this is maybe even considered a Canadian white. It's not white. It's actually color inside, but the interesting thing about this is somebody took a stamp. This is like a like like a stamp like a
right.
star and gave all the people stars because they get all beaten up. I thought that was a little
You
annoying
know,
and weird.
I don't think it hurts it at all. I like it. I
Okay,
really
good,
like it
good.
because it added stars to where there already were some.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to show you the interior, and you can. I'm going to try to find some. I mean, it's got a lot of good girl stuff. Got
That's great.
yeah. Um. So this is Annie Oakley right here. It's like right there.
Is Annie Oakley timely? Is that Atlas?
Um. I don't think so. I'd have to check. I don't remember. To tell you the truth.
It looks
Oh,
that.
they even have judo in it. So it's got like a whole bunch of stuff in it. One sec here. I don't know who did Annie
What year
Oakley
is it,
originally.
Alan?
I was trying to find that out actually. It doesn't say. So the first page is this page.
Oh, and blank inside cover. That
Yeah,
is a unicorn. That is
yeah,
a
really
total
rare.
unicorn, Alan.
Yeah, it's a very rare book, I would say.
That's the only one you're ever going to see of that one.
Yeah. I'm going to guess like the 40s based on the content, like late 40s, maybe early 50s.
Yeah.
I'd have to see. I'm trying to look for something where it hints at a date. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that
Like
Good
sometimes
Girls is
you can
that.
find with the ads, sometimes there's a date. Yeah, Good Girl is like late 40s. So
Do they have a trademark stamp on the back cover for all of those characters at all?
okay, I'm going to show you the trademark. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it says published by Bell Features and Publishing Company Limited, and that's in Toronto. Contents copyright must not be reproduced without permission. Publisher accepts no responsibility for unsolicited material. Any material between characters and names. Oh man, so dusty. It's killing my throat. Living or dead, purely coincidental. All characters and names are fictitious. Okay, well that doesn't help much. Um,
The inside back cover is blank as well.
yeah, yeah, it's blank.
Well, that's almost like my Captain America annual, where the
It's
blank
very odd.
covers, except it has. I mean, that is a real unicorn.
It's all there's a Lana story in it, but it's mostly Annie Oakley.
Well, Lana is definitely timely.
Yeah,
Lana
Lana
is
is
timely.
timely. Yeah, I maybe Annie Oakley
So
is timely
timely
too.
and quality, and I think Margie, the black haired gal, I think is Margie. That looks just like her. I have some of her. So
Yeah,
that's you've got timely inside there.
yeah, it's very odd. I don't know.
Incredible book.
Yeah, very interesting. So very
I was
fun
going
one.
to buy it, and taunt you, but I had to let you have it because you're a
Oh, that
big
was very
Annie
nice of
Oakley
me.
fan.
Yeah, I like Annie Oakley. I sort of got into Annie Oakley just because of the good girl art.
Well, and
Like,
that covers it right there, what you got there.
yeah, it's a good one. And she always
I
has these red boots, right? That's her
Yep.
thing. I was hoping that there was going to be some Torchy inside, but it doesn't seem like there is any.
I mean, it has all these different companies, and it has Timely on the inside.
Yeah,
That
it's very
cover might
odd.
be a timely cover as well that was produced for Timely.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what's going on here because it's Annie Oakley plus just one story with Lena. It's just mostly it's Annie Oakley. It's
Well, isn't
like,
there a black-haired gal in the middle? I think that's Margie.
oh yeah, that's Margie. But that's part of the Annie Oakley story.
That is
Weird,
that
eh?
is just awesome, Good Girl.
Yeah, it's really
That
good,
is
good
a
stuff.
killer book.
You can see like some great poses and stuff there. Yeah, the interiors are pretty fun.
So have Bleak and Biggie appeared?
Nobody's appeared. I sent out the links and nobody's appeared. So, well, I tried. I did try. I ran down and everything. So yeah. So that, I don't know. It's kind of fun. I mean, the interior page quality is quite high.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'm really glad you got that,
yeah, I'm glad that the
because
guy
that's
came down
gonna.
on the price. I was like
No, I
trying to.
mean, no one else is gonna have that book but you. I've never even seen it before.
Hmm. So I mean, it presents really, really well. It's definitely a low grade. I think it's detached at one staple. So I grade it probably like a 3. It needs to be a little cleaned.
Alan, Bleecker is
I
at
have.
work.
I don't have his email though.
Instagram. If you send it to his Instagram
I
account, he
sent
can
it to
come
his
on.
Instagram. He's on. I sent it to his personal
He
Instagram.
sent it to his personal Instagram. Thank you.
So it's funny because Bleeker.
Susan is fielding calls from Bleak. I says,
I
wait a
told
minute.
him. I gave him the thing.
Okay, it's on Instagram. Bleeker, it's
Yeah,
on Instagram.
Bleeker. Okay. So I sent a message to Bleeker's personal Instagram and to the group chat we have
You did.
for the Comic Collector Club.
By the
So,
way, have you seen the latest teaser? It's fantastic
oh,
by
I
a
haven't
big.
watched it yet. Yeah, I haven't. I
It's
have to get it.
really good. It's multiple screens, and it's you and me and all the other members of the collectors club
Hmm.
opening and showing books and stuff like that. Really cool.
Cool. All right.
It took a little. I'm sure it took him time to put that one together. It's a beaut.
So yeah, is he dressed up like the professor again, or?
but
Oh wait, I
it
see a guest. One sec here. Oh, it's Biggie.
Yo,
There he
what's up?
is,
Hey, Biggie.
the big man. I
Yeah.
love
So,
the teaser you did is excellent. Big. That is
Oh, good.
beautiful.
You're always so kind, Steppo. I appreciate that, man.
Well, good is good,
Thank you.
and that was good.
I enjoy them. I think they're fun. Yeah. So if I'm gonna hop on Alan's, and he loves LB Cole. Only got one LB Cole. I haven't got to show
okay,
this on Alan's
I'll
yet.
make you big, and you can show it.
Yeah. There you go,
Oh,
baby.
okay.
Oh yeah, the Dracula.
So Biggie, I finally picked that one up.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah,
Another
yeah,
one bit the dust, Steppo. Look how he does this, man. You get a book you ain't got.
yeah. I'm sorry, man. I had to get it. I had to get it. I
That is a
actually,
great cover.
I've been collecting all the Universal monsters, and so I have that on the way to Stackery right now. That's actually in my Stackery.
I mean, I'm kind of biased and everything, but I've seen a lot of. This is like top
That's a
10,
great
maybe.
one.
I don't know.
That
I
is
think it's
that is
like
a complete painting by him that's just beautifully done. The gal is fantastic.
it doesn't look like his style at all, though.
No.
It really is a much different style. So I was surprised that it's LB Cole, but it is an LB Cole, and it's a great cover. So I
Yeah,
had to get it. It took me a while to find it, though. It's not an easy
yeah. There's
book to
not that
find,
many.
but that's a great one.
So I'm just hopping on because I didn't want to leave y'all high and dry. I'm gonna show 2 books, and then I'm gonna let y'all
Okay,
get back to action. All right.
all right.
So here's
Oh
my
Oh yeah,
man,
it's a
main.
good
I
one.
love that book.
That's a
How
great book.
appropriate for Pearl Harbor Day.
Is today Pearl Harbor Day?
Yeah, December 7th.
Oh wow. Okay. So I gotta drop some bombs there or something.
I hope that Seppo shows that 25-cent cap because I've only seen that in pictures and I haven't seen it on stream yet. So it's gonna be cool to see when he does show it. Not sure my only fault.
That one's a really good one. Believe it or not, I just saw that on Heritage Auctions recently. It went for crazy money, so I was like, it's too much.
Yeah.
But it's a great book. I really like that one.
So even though Bleecker didn't make it, dude, the club's got y'all's back, and you know I had to represent for Bleecker. I stepped in for you, Bleak, so you didn't leave him high and dry.
I gave him the link. I sent the link.
He probably wanted. You know how he is, spontaneous. That's Bleecker, man. That's. Anyways,
wow.
I love you guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Catch y'all
See you,
later.
Big.
See ya, Biggie. So yeah, you can stay if you want. Okay, well, whatever. But yeah, I actually got the whole collection now of those like
You're going to have to put
Universal
training
Monsters.
wheels on that link to Bleecker. He's having difficulty getting on the bicycle, obviously.
I have no idea what's going on there. So I sent it to both the Collector Club and to his personal.
Google won't allow StreamYard.
Google will not allow StreamYard where he is right now, evidently.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Alan has powers, but he doesn't have powers.
That's not my fault. Okay, so don't blame me. I'm just messing.
I would blame you anyway. I mean, you have to blame you.
Oh, I see. He just messaged me on Instagram. It's not working for some reason. What he has to do, if he's listening, is take the link and copy it. I don't know why you guys can't do this. Copy the link, paste it into a new browser, and then it'll work. So you can tell your wife that. Tell them to copy and paste.
Copy and paste it.
Yeah, that does work usually. I have to have a cough drop. That comic really dried out my throat. It was like so musty. But
incidentally, that Fantastic Adventures or whatever it is, that one that I was talking about, the blue one, that book, when I got it from the guy, was Momo Comics, and the guy was so
that's
nice.
Who I got these ones from.
I bought the True to Life
Romances. Is from Momo Comics.
Oh, really? He when I got the book, I was not going to put it in with the rest of my books because it was so musty. And so I said, well, I got it, but it's pretty darn musty. And he hit me back. He refunded $15. He said, go ahead and get some Arm & Hammer baking soda, put it down in the bottom of a container you can seal, and then just leave it there, and it'll knock it all out. And so I did exactly that. I have it sitting on an acid-free backing board in a pan that has baking soda underneath, and then wrapped, and then sealed. And so it's going to live in that until Christmas to get the musty smell. The colors on it are just stunningly beautiful. It's the most colorful, busy jungle cover.
I'm trying to find
cover I've ever seen from Fox Features, ever.
Right.
Fox Features Syndicate.
It's in here. It's just, where is it in here? I really packed these boxes so that they're filled with stuff.
We'll take out a chunk, and that way then you can riffle easier, and you don't hurt them.
Oh my goodness, this is the one I meant to show.
That's the other gal that you needed to remember for your Jungle Girls.
This and also Cave Girl. I had Cave Girl as well. One sec here.
That Sorry is a one shot. I'm surprised. I don't know why they didn't do any more of them. The interiors are good too.
Yeah, it's nice. Okay, one sec.
I have the Southern States copy of that book.
And I had Cave Girl. I should have showed this one as well. But
now you have. Now you have.
Now I have. So these are the ones that I meant to show in terms of Cave Girls. Or not Cave Girls, Jungle Girls.
Who asked about Jungle Girls?
I forget. I think it's like I buy what I like. I think it was no, it was I buy what I like. Kay Munin asked me about X-Men.
Ah. Thank you,
sec, Kurt.
Sue. I don't know, but you've done your bit.
You tried. That's all that matters.
She wants to help. I'm a very lucky guy, I have to tell you.
You know what's really annoying? It's always the last comic. I have a feeling.
I always do this. If I'm looking, I always go to the last. I go to the back and just assume it's back there, and then come from the back front.
Nope, it's not there. Wait, so oh, all top.
Nice.
More all top.
Great stuff. That's Baker.
Yeah, it is Baker. You can tell by the hair.
Look at the hair.
I think it's Kamen plus Baker.
Both
actually.
Baker and Kamen have the curved dagger. They always had the curved dagger. And I think it's just more fun to draw than a straight or a buoy or a spear point or whatever. But they always had the curved slicer dagger. That is one of the best covers. And inside that book, if you go on,
really great interior, actually. Yeah.
If you go on there's a story where Rula, there's a guy that goes into the jungle and he has a flamethrower, a World War II flamethrower. And he goes, watch, and he basically makes the natives do what he wants, or else he'll turn the flamethrower on them.
Yeah,
and as a demonstration, Alan, is a demonstration. That's different. The early ones.
This is number one. Number one.
He takes the flamethrower, and there's a giant tree filled with monkeys, and he sets fire to the monkeys, and they're falling out of the tree, screaming.
Oh yes,
on
I remember
fire.
That.
It's an incredible cover. I mean, interior story.
Interior panel, yeah.
Godly.
This is another famous one.
Oh yeah. I very wisely sold my copy. I sold my loon copy of that book very wisely. That's a different one there, that jungle. Who did the cover?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
It doesn't look Doolin to me.
No, it's not Doolin. I actually do know, but I just don't remember at the moment.
It's not Solardo, is it?
Could be. I'm not sure. It's like the early jungles had this kind of weird, different style.
I know that the early fiction house, like for Planets, had Dan Zolnarovich, and he did other ones too. Zolnarovich has a very specific style. Okay, I confess I do like Doolin a little bit. I really do like Joe Doolin. He's wonderful. 535. Believe it or not,
it's in the other. So I searched through this box. I think it's in the other jungle box. I have 2 jungle boxes, and it's not in this one. Now I'm pinned. I'm trapped. I don't know what to do. Where do I put this box? Okay, 1 second. Over here. Oh,
if you need to extricate yourself, I could show a few books.
No, it's okay. I'm good. Okay. How are we doing for time? Okay, it's been an hour. I have to watch my StreamYard hours.
Oh yeah, because you have or else you'll have to charge.
Well, it's not. It's they only give you like, I forget how many hours per month. It's like 15.
Okay. Well, when
I have some interviews that I have to record, so I got to be a little careful.
I just want to say right away that Corral is a great book. I think you got a real killer book there. That's a beauty. I really am glad you got that. The minute I saw that, I go, now that has got to be a weird one, and it is. Blank inside covers. I mean, and all the different characters from different companies all in one book.
Oh, here it is. I just lost it. Where did I put it? It got mixed into that box. Okay, so here it is.
I'm glad you didn't lose it.
See, that's my problem. I have all these books, and then I'm so poorly organized. I really wish I had like one of those fairy godmothers that go bibbity bobbity boop, and then they would just like have everything sorted out, and you could find whatever it is you're looking for. I still want my Bullet Man 1. It's somewhere in this room.
When you finally find that, that'll be fun to watch. I love the silver on that cover. It is really, that's one of my favorite covers. I'm not a huge Fawcett collector, but that book in particular, Charles Sultan cover, is really a beautiful book.
Yeah, actually, I really like Bullet Man. I just like the hokiness of, like, I like hokey characters. I like.
You know that the helmets, the helmets were not, they were not. It was just a nice device they put on because they basically ingested something to make them strong and what have you, and then that just was a great.
Yeah, it had the shape of the bullet, right?
Oh yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it's such a but it's such a hokey costume, and it's
Now
not
that
even the
their
reason
first
they're
was
called.
Nickel Comics 1 was theirs
Yeah,
first,
Nickel
wasn't it?
Comics 1. I have that. Yeah, that's another. I think it's right there actually. Um, but yeah, that was their first appearance. But Bullet Girl didn't make her first appearance until Masters, the one right behind me, Masters 13.
Is that the one with the
The
swastika
swastika.
people running?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've got a want on that at my comic shop. I would very much
Hard book
like
to
to get
get.
that book. It's never shown up.
Yeah, Caveman Comics, or Man, Caveman, Man Cave Comics, dyslexic boy here. He almost bought that one, and we sort of like I grabbed it before he did. But he actually lucked out. He bought a collection of Bullet Man, and it just happened to have that in there.
That's
And
Master though, isn't it?
yeah,
Master Comics?
it's like some random collection just happened to have like a major Bullet Man key in it.
That's cool. That is
Yeah,
very
so
cool.
he did
Really
well.
a
He
tough
did well.
book.
Yeah, very hard to find. Certain ones are like really hard to find. There's another one that I really would like to get. It's Nickel Comics number 3. I was bidding on it on Heritage Auctions, like a 0.5 grade one too. I
Hmm.
lost by $10.
Well, it might have gone for more than 10. You never know. They might have had
Yeah,
another
yeah, yeah.
$200. It just stopped at another 10. It could be they
Hmm.
said they've wanted it badly enough. I never feel like you lose out on those for just a few
Hmm.
bucks because I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10 they've got a much higher reserve to be sure they get it because I do that too and
Well,
so do
no, they
you.
went above my reserve.
Right? No, yeah, I understand that. But what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying is
but they
their
might have gone
reserve,
higher. Yeah.
it isn't like just $10. It could have been 20, it could have been 100 more. And they were going to
Hmm.
get it because, and I've done that too. I said, I'm going to get this book and I don't care. I'm putting a really high reserve and I'm going to get it. And that's it. And
Yeah.
you've done it too. And a lot of times, sometimes you get somewhat of a nasty surprise, but you
Hmm.
end up, a lot of people have the money and but people just don't have the books. And that's the
Yeah.
thing, especially on a rare book.
Yeah.
Well, listen,
So
if you have to pull the cord, I don't want you to get in Dutch so that you have trouble with time.
yeah, yeah. I probably gotta pull the cord, and everyone's home here anyways, so I can hear like people thunking about.
Okay.
So we'll say goodbye. Thanks
Okay,
again for
bye-bye.
hanging out with me. Bye
Thank you.
everyone. Sec.